The reason why I'm here is to get in touch with people that are in the same field. So it's a lot about learning, it's a lot about connecting.
Networking, not networking, but networking, meaning a cooperation with people, a bunch of people that it's growing, with whom we really feel that it's worth spending time, energy to create something around the topics that we are mostly passionate about.
So I came here from a personal point of view to become better and to learn from experience, because we do have here people with a lot of experience.
I had no idea, I had no expectation. The only one was to be inspired to make creative things, because the last weeks I was overloaded. I needed a refreshment, and that's why I'm here.
The ETS framework is a model that you can apply in order to make visible which of your competences as a trainer you're really good at or not so good at. It helps you evaluate the quality of your work.
And what they try to do is to give, in a way, a description or giving a profile. What do you need if you want to be a trainer or want to be a youth worker in this international field? What kind of competences, what kind of skills, attitudes, knowledge you need to do that? That's very simple what it's about.
I don't think that there's been such a comprehensive outlook on what is youth work in Europe or within the Erasmus Plus program, or what is training work. There's been a lot of mosaic of different kinds of attempts to put it down, but I think this is the first time that we're proposing this kind of overall reference for this line of work.
I think it's 120 criteria and indicators. So it's a long list, and I've never realized that our work is so complex. So in one hand it's nice to know that there are so many elements to our work, but it's difficult to have this long list also to then how can I work on all these elements.
From my point of view, they are useful because they are giving you the guidelines. So if you have the power to take what is the best out of that, if you have the power to find what is important for you in your work and to adapt to your local needs and your necessities, then it's a good tool to use, and as we said, to have a common European language.
That we now have a kind of general common picture of what a youth worker should be able to do when he works within this Youth in Action program with international projects, I think is a big thing.
The chances of the ETS framework are to bring our work to the next level. I think we've been suffering for quite some time to not being able to explain to people why we're good at something or what's really the impact of our work. And now this model gives us this opportunity to not prove, but to indicate, look, I'm really good in this.
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to explain to other people what we do as trainers in the international youth field. So it's kind of helping me also to explain to other people what our work is, and especially on the level of education and supporting learning processes.
How to measure it? Me personally, I'm not really the person deeply interested in measuring, simply because the concrete example that I can give you is that sometimes it happens that you meet a person that was in your training course 5 years ago, and after 5 years it's telling, wow, you know, in that training course I got this thing or that thing that helped me in my further work and sometimes even life.
Education generally is a business where we have abstract products. If you're a mechanic, you build a car, you know the result, you can measure the quality of your work. It is very difficult to find out whether the education I offer is a good quality product or not.
This working in this European field, we often say to each other that we have to be careful that we are not in a bubble where you meet people who think the same, who are in this position that they travel around, meet a lot of people from all other countries and have this kind of wonderful ideas, but it's important to make it doable, to relate it to the practice in the field, in the youth work field.
We understand the realities that people, young people especially, come from. We often think that we know what's happening in young people's realities, but I'm not sure if that's always true.
Because when you are into youth working, then your passion sometimes leads you to having a repetition of your work. But having a time to step back and to see what you have done, what is left to be done, then I think this is the most challenging thing.
Quality in our work, I think, would mean to achieve empowerment of individuals in their learning path. Adults usually tend to be afraid of actually going after the questions that they have in life. So part of our empowerment system needs to make safe space for people to go after the questions that they have.
I think that the most important thing you can do is to fully and genuinely give what you think is important, has a value. Because sometimes it's not the tool that you bring, it's not the theory that you bring, the framework that you bring, that it's interesting, but it's how you give it